All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a bit of a 2 week break. Hopefully, your teams or your grand final teams or your supercars teams have won, but we're back for the second half of the season for Inters Racing League Tier 2, and it's fantastic to be back. And we are in the Styrian Hills in Austria for a sprint round, round 11. Start of the second part of our season. Scotty here to bring you all the action on a lovely Saturday afternoon. Obviously, voting day if you're in Australia, so hopefully everyone's got their vote in, and we can crack open a beer, bourbon, whatever you drink, and enjoy some fantastic Tier 2 action. And I'm not in the comment box alone. I'm here by a man that's I think you may be the championship leader, but Powers, fantastic to have you in the box with me once again. How are you?
Oh, I'm incredible, mate. As you said, it's a fine Saturday afternoon here, so looking forward and keen to watch some future action, mate. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I was going to say that quality is looking a little bit wet, and Toddy's saying that we've definitely got a wet race, and quality might be getting wet at the end of the session too. So we may actually see a lot of action out on track earlier in the session than what we thought. Obviously, Austria, we know that very quick circuit. You're only pretty much hitting about 64, 65 seconds really in qualifying. So very short track, only 4.318 kilometres, the 10 turns. We know that you got your three DRS zones down the start finish straight out of turn one, and obviously after the very tight right hander of turn three to turn four. So plenty of overtaking opportunities around this particular track. As you can see, we've got 19 cars on the grid, so pretty much nearly full grid. I think we may possibly have someone join through quali, so that'd be great to have a full grid. But as we get underway, we'll pop everything up, and we got an AlphaTauri of Elaine Santa. So do you want to take us through a lap of this 10 corner Austrian circuit?
I can indeed. When it comes around the last corner, we've got the DRS now open, and he's up in 8th gear as he starts his flying lap here. So coming in to turn number one now, he gets it into 4th gear. He hooks out very nicely there. He gets the rear wing and back open into the second DRS straight, heading now up towards the sharp right hander of turn 3. He drops it down into second. He's getting out nicely there. He's got the rear wing open now in the third and final DRS straight here at Austria. He comes now down into turn at number 4, keeping it wide and tucking it in nicely there, sitting in third. He's running it very nicely here for this first sector. He's coming now through turn number 6 and 7. Sam puts on a 105.6 here, but he's now coming out of turn number 8 now down into turn number 9. Out wide, using all the curb on the entrance and the exit there, using the curb down into the last corner there. Rear wing is open, and it's going to be a 105.4. It's going to put in P4 there for Alan Santos.
That's right. Solid banker time. Pretty much, obviously, we know how Austria can be with the track limits, especially through that last sector of turns 9, and then obviously out of the final corner going super wide as well. Turn 1, it's more so the curbs that will kill you, but you can still invalidate you there. And then obviously turn 3, probably a very tricky corner, the right hander onto the third straight, let's call it. Very easy to lose traction, so we may see a few issues there. As I'm just following Yusuf on the, as we say, turns 9 and 10, and it's all important to keep at least a bit of your right tyres on the track. He does do that. He crosses the line and goes into the top 6. So all these guys just want to try and get bankers in if we do get a little bit of weather. Bang's invalidated, unfortunately for him, reserving for the Alfa Romeo team. We've got Mertz, Toddy, Ego at the back. So Mertz is just coming through turn 8 now. He's got a couple of corners left to go. So we'll see if he can get it anywhere close to his teammate in Medi as he takes it very easily through turn 9. Gives himself plenty of room through turns 10 and jumps up into the top 12 with a 5.8. There's definitely more time in that Alpine. But I will mention for the race for the championship in Tier 2, one big name that we're not seeing on the left-hand side of your screen is Mercy, our championship leader. He is not racing this afternoon, unfortunately, with other commitments. So, with Marty B only 23 points off the championship leader Gordo obviously missing as well. So, good chance for Marty B to get all, I was going to say, get possibly the championship lead back, but I just saw a sprinkle of rain. Not sure if that was just
Yes, so that.
that's just my imagination, and it was. So I sort of called it that this first lap they need a good banker, and at this rate we may only get the one flying lap. So
Yeah.
the guys have to be out on track now, otherwise the track will just get a little bit too greasy to actually improve their lap times.
Might say Daniel Stiles left us pretty well through purple through sector one. He's running pretty well at the moment. I've been on board with his entire lap. The rain is just falling now, so I think we'll see Daniel Stiles be the last probably flying lap you will see here in qualifying until the rain is too heavy for anyone to set a lap, and he's going to put a 105 on the board. He's going to go P8.
Then just that goes into P8. Battle Cat's invalidated, so he'll be able to turn off his battery. Seems like he's got enough fuel so he can go again. He may not have it at the end, but really unlucky that Battle Cat's invalidated late. So it's just got to be a matter of which of these guys can actually, if there is any more time. I don't know how Mumba kept all four of those wheels off on the track, and he didn't improve, unfortunately. So I think we've got a Merc. Everyone else was sort of on the outlap. Wolf is not. Can he improve from his 6.9? He does improve by a tenth, but that tells me that there's not really much improvement left in this track, I don't think. Or at its best point, I should say. Deadly Fool is going to be the first one to pretty much go on his first outlap, or his first fly in these sort of mixed conditions. So we'll see how he goes through turn one. It's still not too bad through there. DRS is obviously still activated, which is a sign that it still dries, but it's just when that weather's going to be... he's 2.5 tenths down, and it's pretty much only one corner, and he goes deep. I think this is going to be the end of quality, unfortunately. It looks like the weather's really just starting to affect these guys. So at the moment, it's NATO who picked up our last win all the way back in Hungary. It feels like ages ago. It was 3 weeks ago, but our previous race ran it, and he's retired in the pit lane. He does not feel this weather's going to improve. So great laps from NATO, Aussie, and Marty B, especially with Mercy not racing tonight. Marty B up there in P3. So this might actually be... there was a bit of an overtake through the pit lane, but Powers, this...
Oh man, I just saw Toddy. I was on board with Massive Ego there, he's on his flying lap, and Toddy goes around coming out of turn number 8.
Yeah, obviously Bang, Toddy and Ego can still improve a couple of positions because I haven't said the time, but Ego only a 17.4. I'd imagine there wasn't I know he may have gotten held up a little bit, but that was still pretty slow. Bang, what's he doing? He's sliding through turn 9. Just the conditions are not there for these soft tyres anymore. And he'll cross the line and only an 8.2. So yeah, this quality session is done and dusted, but we've got rain in either the sprint or the feature. Might actually be a bit of good practice for these guys to actually come out on a set of intermediate tyres and maybe just get the feel of what it's like with maybe low fuel runs with these tyres, perhaps.
Yeah, 100%. Their best bet to try and come out and get a little bit of that practice in, a little bit of preparation for the wet races to come, but for all we know, they could be full wet races. And
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. It'd be a very interesting race for us to call if it is fully wet. But as we can see, Toddy, no front wing, but he wanted to at least set a lap time, so he's done a 1:33.7. He's about 30 seconds off where he probably should be, but yeah, obviously unfortunate for Toddy that not sure if he went out for a banker or not and invalidated, but that's how important a first flyer is, and just setting a decent lap time that if something happens, you've at least got a competitive time on the board. So Toddy will be probably more than likely starting this race from dead last. Obviously the risk now is for the guys that if you do go back out on track that you don't block someone and you don't have a collision with someone. Otherwise, you'll be seeing some five-place grid penalties, which obviously we do not want to see. So the guys got to be a little bit careful. So as I have a quick look, we just hit the 8-minute mark left to go in the session, and as you can see, as we finally get the DRS disabled notification on the top of your screen, so dries are completely out the window now. So as we sort of sit here, we'll have to have a bit of a ramble if everyone doesn't retire on the pits in the pits, but they're not. Marty B and a couple of the others, T8, just on the intermediate tyres, just having a feel of how they work. But Powers, how did your race go last night? I saw you got fourth in the sprint and third in the feature. How was it driving Austria as a sprint round?
Nah, sprint rounds are always good. They're always that opportunity to get some extra points on your championship rivals, which is always good to have. And then, but no, the weather was good all weekend as well. So we had dry sprint and dry feature, which was really nice. But it's going to be good to see the race tonight in the wet conditions. So we'll see how these boys pan out. But other than that, the race was pretty good. Qualified P5, pulled up a place in the sprint race, and then had a pretty decent strategy in the feature. Just one little mistake cost me P2 in the long run, I think.
Yeah, I was having a quick look at the results. Yeah, you did it. Great job by your usual high standards as it is. As we just seen Marty just lining the car around this track. As we sort of said earlier, Mercy out of tonight. I think he got a soccer thing. I think I saw earlier, but obviously Mercy not here. Marty, as we know, you got points 8 points to 1 point for the sprint, so top 8 scores points, and then obviously our usual interscoring with the winner of the feature picking up 24. So realistically, Marty could lead the driver standings with only 23 points he needs to catch up. Gordo, obviously, unfortunately, not here either. NATO, he's probably the driver in form. 109 points, and he's only 47 off of Mercy. So if he can actually convert this pole position, he might actually be right back into this championship hunt. His form's really good, and then Battle Cat in the top 5 in the standings again. He's going to have a little bit of work from him down there in P13 to try and get some good solid points, but as we know, anything could happen as we have a quick look at the constructors.
Also, tonight, we've got to keep an eye out for he's a reserve driver, Debbie Fuller, though. He was absolutely rapid last night in Tier 3. He put it on pole with a 104.6, I believe, if I remember right, and then he had a little incident earlier on, was last in the sprint race, and then went from last to first in the feature race, so definitely look out for Fuller tonight.
Yeah, to be fair, I know it was only the Benker lap that Nato got pole position, but technically Deli Fuller was quicker his pole last night than we saw in this short dry part of quali, so that tells me that, yeah, he's definitely got pace. Obviously a 5 flat that he did, and still a great top 5 starting position for him. So we'll see if he can stay up there and competitive. We sort of know how Medi can go in race situations, same as Daniel Starr. Saw him in a race last night, and he actually drove quite well in a 100% endurance race and finished, actually won that race actually due to a late pen. So Daniel Starr, he's good form driving this game. So don't sleep on Daniel Starr. T8, we know he can have some speed. Sam as well. Obviously, he just has not really had much luck when he has attended, unfortunately, but. Yeah, there's definitely going to be plenty of guys, Parallel Aussie, still flying the McLaren flag in P2. And with the constructors' points, McLaren holds a 34-point lead over Ferrari in the Tier 2 standing. So without Mercy here, they've got Ego, and Ego's a solid reserve to have that chucked into this tier. So hopefully Ego can score some good points for McLaren, but Ferrari, decent chance without the championship leader here to score some good points. Marty there in P3, Broseph down in 15th, not the quality session that he would have wanted either. but he's currently on just running on the intermediates. Battle Cat as well. So these guys just getting lap times in. And Haas in P3 on 192, so a further 19 points back off Ferrari. So still anyone's call. Obviously, we've only just hit halfway, so we've still got 10 rounds left to go. But yeah, it's going to be a fascinating second half of the season. We've had some great battles early on this season, and looking at the calendar, yeah, we're in for some treats as well. So, Sam, I wasn't knocking you. No, I know you've been fairly busy. But as I said, you just hadn't had luck when you had race. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what you can do from P12. And obviously, Powers would love you to score some more points, being part of the Williams team as well.
Yeah, he needs to pick up his game a little bit.
All right, so I was doing it nicely, and Powers has just slammed you, so never mind. But as we just keep watching Battle Cat, I'll switch to T8 now, see what he's doing. Better 114 he just did on that previous lap. So it's going to be an 8. It's got to around here probably about an 8 to 10 second difference between dry and wet weather running, I'd imagine. So you're looking at the probably mid-teens in terms of sort of race running. So it'll be interesting to see how this weather does go as we are getting more retirements. We've got a minute 46 left to go in the session. So we're just waiting for these 4 to retire. But obviously 3 of them are out on track. Interesting to see if we have got a fair bit of weather in the in either of the races, whether the guys have just maybe tweaked their setups just a little bit to maybe just cope a little bit through a couple of these corners, or if they've just kept the straight line that we know Austria. You do need a bit of straight line speed to sort of be competitive and being able to not only make passes but to also hold your ground. As T8 is about to come across the line to do another lap. Invalid again, 13.2. So that's just sort of the pace at the moment as we hit the 50-second mark left to go. Battlecat will be coming in to end his quality session. So Marty B, is he going to finish his? We'll see what his time can be in the wet. Obviously invalidated, so just these boys going wide. So they've got to be careful about invalidate or picking up warnings, I should say, if we do have wet weather in the race. Just waiting for T8 now. Appreciate that. I think that's Jamie, your username, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw that the other night, but thank you. I'll take the compliment. I actually have to do a shoey in another league, so I've got to get that ready as well. But as we just about hit time on the clock, we've got the checkered flag. Mumba is in the pit, so we're just waiting on T8 and Marty now. Oh, big slide. And that's out. T8 obviously could get away with that, but he won't want to do that in the race. But very easy to lose it out there in turn 10. We can easily see that in the dry on this particular circuit. And then Marty's going to be the final one to come across the line. Again, just got to be careful with the line, not get too trigger happy on the throttle early on. But Marty successfully does that, and I think he did a 112 with those intermediate tyres. So from the look of what the Discord's saying, it was wet practice people were doing for the start of the feature, so that's when we will potentially get rain. As we see, yeah, exactly. As we see the results on screen, Nato picked up pole with his one and only flying lap from Aussie from Marty. Negrito, great job for him up in P4 Delhi for, as you said, Powers. Had great pace last night, so looking forward to see what he can do. Yusuf in P6, Medi, Daniel Starr, Mumba, and T8 rounding out the top 10. Elaine, Sam, Battlecat, Mertz, Broseph, Woofer, Ego, Bang, and Toddy will be our final driver on the grid. Obviously, Toddy unfortunately making the mistake on his first flyer, and then the heavens opened, and unfortunately that was Inter's time. But it's going to be interesting. It sounds like it's going to be a dry sprint. So we'll wait and see. Buster, great to see you once again. I believe the feature, there's going to be some weather. So it's going to be a matter of surviving the sprint for a high position and then get ready to watch out for this feature start, because I reckon it's going to be a banger as Greedo's left the session. So do you mind just sending him another quick invite, please?
Yeah, on it.
I believe formation lap is on, so might give him some time. I'm just hoping he doesn't have that glitch that he's driving with the broadcast cam on. Otherwise, we may have some issues on this opening lap.
Does not seem like I'm friends with Gritto.
No, Buster, we've gone down to 3 tiers for into this season. We wanted a more competitive grid, and making sure that we've got a full grid for each of our tiers, and it's worked really well this season. So tier 2 replaces tier 3's time slot. We knew how hard it is for people to constantly have a full-time race on a Saturday night, so Saturday afternoon worked a lot better for the guys. So yeah, we just pinched tier 3s. Obviously, the original tier 3, or the new tier 3 I should say, is on Friday nights. Tier 2 running today at this time, and then obviously tier 1's, as always, your Sunday afternoon. Spectacular, let's just say. Obviously Prince and a few of the other boys dominating, and that's going to be fun to watch tomorrow afternoon, see how they go around this track. As we get the tyres, obviously 12 laps for your sprint, no pit stops are necessary, and as you can sort of see, Mumba and TA, they've sort of taken the gamble to go a bit aggressive and onto the soft compound of tyre. So interesting to see how they're gonna bloody hang in there for the entire 12 laps.
Mamba did the same strategy last night in Tier 3 and it seemed to do him wonders. He finished P2 in the sprint race yesterday.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at that. Mumba, and no, it was only Mumba that started on the softs, and he started second and finished second. So obviously the tyres weren't actually too bad. So they obviously hung in there enough that he was able to keep his position. So we'll wait and see as we get ready for the guys to line up onto the grid. So it's going to be a fascinating. Who's your pick for the sprint race win? Can Nato win it off pole, or can Ozzy and Marty get a great jump?
I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say Marty B's going to take the sprint race win here today.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic to see what happens. Fantastic for you, Buster. If we'd love to see you start reserving once again. Hopefully your break's been well. But as we get the lights, I don't know what this cam is, but we'll go on board with NATO for the 5 red lights. Our sprint round at Austria begins now, and it's NATO who gets a little bit of a wheel spin, but actually not bad of his second phase, so he'll lead us away as we get a little bit of side-by-side action.
Dived it on Marty B there.
Yeah, it was actually pulled it off, but we're going nearly 3 wide further back. Marty's lost a couple of spots. So as we feed through turn 3 now, can everyone pull it up? That's a little bit of contact from the Alpine, and we've got a Merc half sideways. So a little bit of contact. Hopefully no one's picked up any damage. As we've got Perel.
We're going 3 wide with Marty B. And then now, oh wow.
They just managed to do it, but you got the Alpine on the inside of Medi. Can he do something as Mumba picks up a 5-second time penalty, for corner cutting and gaining a place. So maybe that's just avoiding an accident, and maybe just a little bit unfair that he's got the penalty, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully this timing thing can sort of fix itself up, but we've got Medi coming into the pit lane, I believe. Yes, he's got damage. So really unfortunate. Or has he got damage? Don't look like he's got damage for me. But he's falling all the way back down. We'll just keep an eye on it. As we start lap 2. NATO lead from Aussie Yusuf, making a great start. I'm pretty sure he's moved up top positions. He's moved up 3, so he was the big jumper. And then Mertz up 6 from P14 to P8 now. So a couple of big movers. Medi obviously the biggest loser, down 11. So, and looking at my little cheat sheet, I think T8's got some floor damage. So he's going to really struggle in this second stint. As I think we got some side-by-side action between Ego and Broseph. So Broseph holds P12. Massive Ego in P13, then T8 and P14. As we got Deadly Fuller and Daniel Starr. I'm just sort of hoping that these times fix themselves up, because Deadly Fuller is definitely not only 2.4. We've got a spinner and it's going to be T8. So I thought that floor damage might struggle through the loaded corners, and unfortunately that's what's happened. So down to P17. But at the front, top 8 still within DRS as we do get it now activated. As you can see, Aussie's got the DRS flat wide open. So it's a matter of, can he get a nice exit out of turn 3? It was alright mid-corner, but NATO made sure that he got the exit that he wanted, so he'll be fairly safe. Had a bit of movement down here. We got side-by-side action. Sam and Mertz. Sam with the DRS, he gets the job done, moves up himself up into P8. We've got an AlphaTauri and the Red Bull fighting, Mumba and Toddy. Toddy up 9 positions from the back of the grid. Goes down the inside, he pulls it up just before he hits the Alpine. So, great job from Toddy from the back. Oh, he has a little bit of a snap, but so does the Alpine. So, Toddy, couldn't quite think about a move down here. Might have been close. As we come around the final corner, Toddy having a lot of grip at the moment. He's probably, unfortunately, he's burned all his battery, so we'll have to wait and see if he can actually make a move with just pure grip alone. He has a bit of a slide, he does catch it.
Daniel Starr making a move on Marty B now. He's moved up into P5, Daniel Starr.
Yeah, so Daniel Starr, he's on the move as well. Plenty of action throughout the grid. As we know, Austria can do. Mertz and Mumba swapping positions. Toddy on the outside, trying to get the drag race down to turn 4. And Mertz gets it done. So Toddy was looking on the Alpine, but unfortunately, he's at the back of the pack. Mumba using those softs, as we said, he's going to be quick. Obviously, he's got the 5-second time penalty for the corner cut at the start. But as I said, we're not sure what happened there. That might have been avoiding action, and he may be able to get that removed. But back at the front, I'm going to start seeing the leaders, as we've got a 7-car train for the lead, and NATO currently leads. He has a little bit of a snap going through the final corner. All these boys just have to be careful not to pick up a drive-through, a track limits warning. It's only 12 laps, but a 3-second will cost you very, very much here.
Yeah, it will. Like, man, but it's got a 5-second ring there. That's a yellow flag.
We got a yellow flag. That's a battle cat.
It's a Red Bull.
Not particularly what I want to see. And Mumba gets past Sam. So who gets DRS from these two? Sam gets DRS back, sorry. Instead of DRS I should have said. But yeah, Battle Cat, obviously, he's had an issue. And he's dropped behind. Yeah, actually, Toddy's been caught up in it as well. So both Red Bulls. Oh, and we've lost T8. He's had a spin out of turn 3. So plenty of action on lap 5. Back at the front, though, NATO, Aussie, Yusuf, Garrido, Daniel Starr, Marty, Deadly. That's your top 7 in this train.
There's a nice little DRS train going on from 1st all the way down to 7th at the moment. So that's really good to see at the moment. There's a nice little battle going on here, and it looks like there's an Aston Martin Agrido's going up the inside of Yusuf here into turn 1. He's got the job done too.
Got a job done, but probably not the best exit because he had the inside line. So watch Yusuf Matt potentially try and get him back, but he's got no battery to work with. You can see a lot of these guys flashing. Oh, that's a big moment from the race leader. Nader had a bit of wiggle. I don't think Aussie hit him, but we'll have to wait and see. But Aussie, he takes the race lead, and he's got DRS that he can defend. So it's currently still an Aston 2-3. Great points at the moment. But Nader will be cursing himself that he made that tiny little error. And that's the thing, you make one little error in a pack of 7. You're going to really be struggling as Mumba gets past Sam. So these two are having a decent, fair old scrap as well. So it'd be interesting to see As I have a quick look at the tyre, we're obviously all on the same wear. Same tyre, same wear, but we're starting to just hit 20% now with the tyre, so guys have just got to be a little bit careful in the late stages. Very easy just to slide and lose a little bit of time. As we run up to between turns 2 and up to turn 3 now. Does Greedo get the job done? He takes the race lead. Nearly, he's got the inside line. Aussie will have the better traction off the initial corner, but DRS for the Aston Martin. And he's got overlap for turn 4, so we're going to have an Aston Martin take the lead once again, but it's the other Aston of Greedo. So Greedo, Aussie, NATO, Yusuf, Daniel Starr, Marty, and Deadly Fuller having a fair old scrap in the back part of this leading train. But Greedo driving magnificently at the moment, and we'll see if he can actually pull away from Aussie. As we round turn 9 and we're about to start lap 8. Problem is that leading Aston you can see flashing, but it's more so NATO on the rear end of the McLaren. But obviously DRS just brings everybody back together. And that was a better line for NATO.
Oh, use this off the track. Daniel Starr's got the run on him coming up the turn.
We're going to have a ball. That got really, really close between Aussie and Greedo. Aussie was nearly on the grass as he goes really wide onto the curb. Yeah, so there's plenty of action between this top 5. You need multiple TV screens to see this action. But it's an Aston 1-2. Aussie just got fed out wide, unfortunately, went a little bit deep. So Daniel Starr all nearly had to defend from Yusuf sticking a nose down the inside. But Daniel Starr up into P4, so we'll see what if he can break into this top 3. Aussie, he got passed by the Aston, but he's not letting him go. But now we'll see if there's a little bit of team play that could happen between Greedo and NATO as Medi picks up a 3-second time penalty. Obviously, he had issues on the opening lap and is down in plumb last. So, unfortunately, there's been a few guys that have been caught out a little bit. But, thankfully, at the front, we've got 4 laps left to go in the sprint. And it's going to be pretty much pick a name out of the hat between these 7 drivers to see who will win. So, we'll see if the Astons work together. It's going to be NATO that retakes the lead and actually takes the racing line. So, these two, if they can play it smart, Aston picking up 15 points in the sprint would be really helpful for their Constructors title. As no more passing between the top 7. We'll have a quick look because Mumba and Sam are continuing their massive fight, and Mumba again chucks it down the Sam chucks it down the inside, sorry. So Sam takes P8 once again, and Ego, as Medi has retired in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Obviously, he'll just start the feature from dead last, so he won't leave the session. So, probably not the worst thing. He was probably nowhere near getting a top 8. So, he can sort of recharge, have a bit of a break, as Mertz picks up a 3-second time penalty. So, just a few of these guys picking up penalties. Obviously, not a lot still, but it's going to be anybody.
Flags out, and it's a Red Bull of Battle Cat.
Oh, Battle Cat. Battle Cat's having an absolute shocker. Oh, we've got Mertz as well. So has Mertz and Battle Cat come together? I don't know, but we've got a battle at the front, and NATO's been touched.
Oh no.
Yeah, it looks like Aussie's just tagged the rear of the Aston Martin, and unfortunately, it's pretty much caused havoc in this pack. The one that's gotten away was the one that was leading the train. That's Greedo. Daniel Starr's up into P2. Problem is, the top 3 have broken top 2 have broken DRS, and it's going to be a big train from Marty to sort of hang on as you got Yusuf and Deadly Fuller going side by side as we round turn number 6 now. Yusuf does hold the position.
Has NATO got damage there, or has he come out of it? NATO Aussie, or they come out that unscathed?
I think it's all right. It was only a light hit. It's just whether if he's been hit on the side. But that's really hurt those two. And I think it was only that lightest touch, but unfortunately it was enough to turn NATO around, and Aussie unfortunately got stuck there as Toddy picking up a 3-second time penalty. 2 laps left to go. And you've got to say, if Greedo can keep this thing on track, he's broken DRS, so he doesn't have to worry about the guy directly behind. Daniel Starr, he's just been gifted second place at the moment. It's got to be Marty
Daniel
B.
Star is moving as well. He is reeling in Gritto, so if he can chase down Gritto before the end of this lap, he can try and take that race win off him in the last lap using DRS.
Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating if he can. It'll be interesting to see how much pace he's got in the middle sector, because this is the sector
You
that
look at
you.
that, it is down to just about, it's now down to under a second here pretty much from Daniel Star to Gritto now as they're about to come to the final sector.
Yeah, you got Aussie and NATO at the back of the train, just swapping positions once again. Aussie takes P6, NATO P7. Fortunately, I may see a report coming, but Daniel Starr didn't close a lot in that middle sector, so it's all important to take 9 and 10, and he won't get DRS down this straight, and he's got no battery to burn, so it's a matter of if he can stay within the 1 second. As we come through turn 1, he does get it. He does get it. Problem is, he's going to have to use DRS to close up to turn 3 and then make the move at turn 4. You'd imagine that's the best opportunity for Daniel Starr to potentially take the lead of this race on the final lap, as we've got a yellow flag.
Around again.
Oh, and that's a move from Yusuf down the inside, and they've sort of sent both of them wide, and you've got Deadly Fuller as there's contact between Aussie and NATO again. So plenty of action happening. Greedo does manage to hold off Daniel Starr with the DRS, so you don't really feel like that position's going to change. As Yusuf and Deadly Fuller, third and fourth, Marty losing 2 spots on that third corner, just sort of being sent wide. And I think Yusuf just went wider than he would have wanted as well, but as we're riding on board with the Aston, he's got 2 more corners left to go, I should say. And I don't think Daniel Starr's going to be enough. He just needs to keep it within the white lines. That's wide, but doesn't pick up a penalty. As we get the run to the line, it's going to be Greta who wins the sprint from Daniel Starr. Yusuf will cross the line in P3. Deadly Fuller in P4. Marty finishes 5th. Aussie and NATO, what could it have been? But the little contact at turn 3. Massive jumps, Sam and Mumba. Because Mumba obviously had the 5 second at the start of the race, so Ego, great job for him. So, not getting still getting a point for McLaren, so, and gets a good position for the feature. Sam P9, bang, great job from him to finish inside the top 10. Woofer in P12, Toddy P13, Broseph 14th, Battlecat 15th, Elaine Sanders 16th, Mert 17th. Obviously, we had 2 DNFs, T8 and Medi. And as we get a bit of a breather there. Top
but
7.
No, it was definitely a very, very exciting race there, especially coming in the end there. Daniel Starr almost pulled off a miraculous win, but just fell that 2/10 short coming into the end there. But great race all around. The top 8, I think, is Gritto. So the top 8 will be Gritto, Daniel Starr, Yusuf, Deadly Fuller, Marty B, Aussie, NATO, and Ego will be point scorers here in the sprint race. But there is a lot to look for in the PL Aussie and NATO little tussle there. So we'll see what comes of that once the reports have been put in and
actually there may not
resulted.
be. Sorry, I'll break in because there may not be a report there, because it looks like that NATO actually. His rear end spun out going into turn 3, so it may not have been. It might have just been that Aussie was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, unfortunately, because it's NATO just sort of apologising that it was actually him that sort of lost the rear end at corner entry, surprisingly. So yeah, so
There you go. So.
we sort of thought that just with the camera angle we just saw on the edge of the left hand side about that, but yeah, unfortunately, both getting affected, but we've got a completely.
And look at this.
I was going to say we've got a completely different race ahead of us now, at least at the start, because it was dry for the sprint, but these guys have got 3 times the fuel in their cars, and yeah, we've got wet conditions to begin this race.
It is absolutely bucketing down out there at the moment here at Spielberg, so definitely a race to watch here tonight in this Austrian feature race here.
Yeah, and at least with the formation lap on, these guys can get a little bit of a feel of what the track conditions are going to be like, at least with the 50 kilos of fuel on board, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what these guys can do. Is the guys just getting their, probably not the strategy set up, because obviously it'll be saying inters for the two, probably a one stop for 2 sets of inters, but definitely the fuel. We'll see if anybody underfuels, and we didn't actually have a safety car in that sprint, but we'll
No, we
see.
didn't.
But yeah, it was. I thought NATO was going to win that one. We got an Aston winning it, but it was the wrong Aston. Greto doing a fantastic job picking up the sprint W. So he'll lead us away from pole. Daniel Starr in P2. Yusuf and Deadly will line up on the second row. Marty and Aussie on the third. NATO, our qualifying pole, only in P7, unfortunately. Ego and P8. Sam in 9th. Beng in 10th. Mumba and Woofer will start on the 6th row. Toddy having a few issues in that previous race. Brosa, Battle Cat as well having issues. Elaine Santa, Mertz, T8 and Medi. So Medi had a shocking race, unfortunately, after getting tagged lap 1. So can only go up for him. As we did see Toddy before his incident. Oh, and I say that Medi spins around at turn 3. So I said that it couldn't go any worse. I may have actually just jinxed him, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's only the formation lap, and you can't pick up damage. But yeah, maybe don't do that on lap 1, and you might be right. But we'll quickly switch to the tyres, and obviously, to absolutely no surprise, everybody on the intermediate tyres. It's just going to be a matter of if it does dry up, which I think it may do. The guys just need to survive this opening portion. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting one here, but we'll see what happens. Off the line, are we going to see an incident turn 1 or 2 here? It's wet. It's Austria. I think we're bound to see at least one incident here in one of these first 2 corners.
Well, turn 1 was fairly clean. It was turn 3 that was a little bit of the pile up. So it's interesting that Austria's got this far camera, because I can't see shit with the lights. So we'll go on board with Yusuf at the start, and we'll see. He got a good jump off the sprint, but we've got 5 lights. So we've got 36 laps of the feature is underway, and again, Yusuf, not a bad start. Problem is he's boxed in. He's going to go half on the grass as we nearly had contact between the two. Can everybody pull it up out of turn 1? It looks like we can, but it's going to be Yusuf already getting...
No, they can't. Sam's round.
Oh, as I quickly switch, and Sam's gone. Looks like on the straight too, so there must have been contact further on.
And Toddy's retired.
Oh, and Toddy's out, and we have a virtual safety car. Yusuf's off the track, so as we try and sort out...
I can walk you through what exactly happened there. I was on board the top camera view there as they came through into turn 1. There was, I believe it was a Haas driver. So I believe there was a Haas, a Red Bull, and Sam all coming out of that turn 1. Wheel to wheel alongside each other, so 3 wide coming out of it, and I think one of them got a little loosey and tapped Sam, and then it all just caused a little bit of a commotion.
Yeah, because looking on the minimap, that looked a little bit far up, like it wasn't straight out of turn 1. It looked like it was like 100 metres up out of the corner exit. So obviously we know how tricky it can be with that, and obviously it only takes a slight little bit of contact to send your car around, but. Okay, look at the position changes, obviously. Deadly Fuller's the biggest loser, obviously. He was really competitive in the sprint, but he's lost 13. Guys like Battle Cap up 6, Mertz up 7, Medi up 6. We got passing. That looked like that was before the VSC ended, but as we get back underway, he's going to be Greto, then Yusuf, then Daniel Starr, and Yusuf. He's quick in these wet conditions at the moment because he's going to try attempt number 2 on Greto. This time he gets the inside line for turn 3. Can they break in time? He takes a little bit of the inside curve, but he's still right. So Greto having the better line around the outside. So he holds P1. Daniel Starr's not quite there. Marty's sitting in a good spot in P4. That's all he needs to do without mercy here. He just needs to pick up a whole bag of points as he makes slight contact with Daniel Starr's rear. Thankfully didn't turn him. guys have just got to be careful in the opening stages. We've got Battle Cat. He's liking these conditions. Same as Mertz, up 6, 9 and 6 spots respectively. Oh, and Aussies, and as we said from Saw Mercy in the chat early, yeah, Aussies had a real shocker start. He's down 10 positions, down in P16 at the moment. But it's Greedo leading the way once again. So to start lap 2, obviously a long way to go. Interesting to see what the weather's going to be like. Sets fastest lap 15.2.
Yeah, the rain's always good race to watch because there's no DRS. It's just all about getting that ERS, using that ERS wisely.
Oh, sorry, we had an issue. We had an issue with, I think, Medi and possibly Mumba, and that sort of made it a little bit of a cork in the bottle a little bit down here. So I'm not sure if there was a little bit of contact or just someone just having a little bit of a wiggle, and that was Mumba going, I think, nearly deep. Had to sort of move to the left to avoid contact. So the guys just struggling to find their braking points in these conditions. Marty loses a spot to NATO. So NATO's still got speed. Obviously started further back. Probably should have been on that sprint podium. But making his way back, and I think we've lost Sam. So he's at another shoot. We've got Aussie slow. So has Aussie possibly hit Sam? Not 100% sure. But plenty of action in the midfield. Top 3 have really broken away at the moment. Bang's up 4. He's done a great job getting driver of the day in the sprint. He's moved up even more. That looked a little bit hairy from Mertz, having a bit of a moment, and massive ego in the wet conditions. He's looking fairly competitive as well as we take the start-finish line for
the end of the pits here.
Yes, obviously a few of them got damaged. Sam had front wing damage, so he's going to have to get that replaced. As Marty, he had a quick look down the inside of Nada, but thought better of it.
Oh, hold on a minute. Aussie's put on a set of hards here. Is this rain clearing up?
Oh, that's
here, is this just a bit of an error?
That'd be way too early. Surely it'd be way too early. As Yusuf, there's plenty of action. Gredo holds off Yusuf. As we've got a big 4-car train here, and Sam's retired in the pit lane. So I'll bring the tyres back up. I'll go on to Aussie shortly, but it's nearly ready, but no chance that it's ready for dry tyres. And why would you even...
He just got eaten alive by Broseph. Broseph just flew past him like he was standing still.
Oh, that's a big slide from Mertz, and even Ego went onto the gravel. So these guys really struggling to keep it on the black stuff at the moment. As we got all that Mertz really struggling, and it's going to be Ego really trying to hurry this up and get past. Takes the inside line. Can he pull it up? It's a little bit of contact that forces the Alpine wide.
Struggling right now. I'm just on board with Aussie. He's sliding and slipping in and out of every single corner at the moment. So
yeah, there's
probably not the best decision for the hards here.
If you want to make an undercut, you'd surely go softs, because even hard tyres around here going 30-odd laps, it's going to be a stretch as it is. So, oh, and there's side contact out of corner exit. Guys have got to be careful. We're nearly 2x2x2. But Mertz does hold. Oh, and they've got to watch. I think that's a Williams. So, that's not Daniel Star. That's Sam's bloody AI car still driving around the circuit. At least I'm imagining things, but that was definitely a Williams, and it is.
It was Sam's car coming out of the pit lane from when he retired.
Surely they've got to bloody get that off the track, surely. I mean, would have pulled over halfway through turns 2 and 3, but obviously not. So we're going to have look like we're going to have a complete roadblock. Mumba's going to come into the pit, so is this dries, I wonder? Not 100% sure. It'd be interesting. But I'm going to switch back to this giant pack in the midfield. As Massive Ego having another little twitch, but he's got the better drive. And surely he can get the job done on Mertz. Again, Mertz's top speed just a little bit better, and there's going to be side contact. And does that help anyone behind? No, they don't. Oh, but Ego slides the McLaren around. Just needs to straighten it up. We're nearly going to be going dry. Mumba's on the soft tyres. So if I can get you to keep an eye on him, but I still reckon it's just slightly too wet still for these tyres.
Yeah, it's definitely too early to be putting on the slick tyres. Remember, it's still into the weathers. It's just not at the stage of the slicks yet. And as I say that, Mamba is
Oh.
straight wide and up and off the track, and he picked up a 3 second
Yeah,
time penalty. Aussies in the grass now as
yeah.
well.
I just switched on the Aussie and just had no grip coming out of the final corner, and he's about to get lapped. That's the issue.
And that's a safety car. What's
That's
happened there?
not sure.
It looks like Sam's car's still on the track, if I'm not mistaken here.
Yeah, T8. I think that's finally pulled over. T8 lost it. Where I think he lost it in the sprint. He's got no front wing, so that's why the safety car's been called due to debris on the track. So no retirements for this safety car to be called, but it was definitely debris. That helps Aussie because you can sort of keep pace under a safety car delta. So all Aussie needs to do, he needs to stay out. So if he's listening, stay out. Oh, not if he does that. Big slide around turn 4.
Tokyo Drift there from Aussie through turn 4.
It's got to be
Know
interesting.
exactly what you want.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if anybody actually stays out. T8 and Medi went for new inters. So clearly there's two separate thoughts here. As, yeah, T8's still on the intermediate tyres. But as I said, Aussie cannot afford to come in, otherwise he'll be lapped, and then his race is pretty much screwed. So he's got to stay out. He just has to let the field catch the safety car, get a 20-second gap, and then he can catch the back of the field. But he can't afford to come in. But what do the leaders do? Surely they stay out. Gredo stays out. Yusuf stays out. Daniel Starr will as well. Yeah, I think it's just a smart play as Mumba picks. And he's on the soft, so I'm thinking as he's touring the gravel now. So clearly not just not the best strategy, unfortunately. It's way too early, unfortunately. So what I'd do if I was him, you're only going to lose a couple of spots, chuck on the set of intermediate tyres, because you won't be lapped. But look how much he's struggling, just even with the spin.
Yeah.
There's Greedo.
What is Aussie doing? Huh? I'm just a little lost here. Aussie's just not even going anywhere. He's just cruising.
That's the thing. Guys have caught the safety car. Aussie needs to make sure that he has a 20-second gap to come in and box. But again, it stopped raining. It's most certainly stopped raining.
Just out of nowhere, the rain just completely suddenly stopped.
Alright, now if you're Aussie...
Alright. Yeah, put the foot to the floor now and you try and face that back.
Safety car's going to stay out another lap. Aussie should stay out this lap. I think he's going to come in. Aussie should stay out this lap. And then next lap, box for a set of medium tyres. Because you'd want, in these conditions, I think a double medium stint, actually no, because you only have one medium, one set of hard, unfortunately, but I'd probably come in for a medium just to have the grip or even the set of softs. But yeah, he'll go around once more, and he'll even start feeling those hard tyres getting better as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, and as I said, Aussie feels like
Daniel Starr's made the call, he's in.
I think
Daniel Starr is the first car in.
If you can hold on to these dry tyres just for a little bit, you'll gain massive time and completely cut the 18 to 20 second pit stop time, as you got everybody coming in. So this is
Greedo and Marty. And said it didn't come in hard tyres going onto that Williams car there for Daniel Starr.
Nato on softs, as we can see. So
interesting strategy from NATO though. You would have thought the mediums would have come on there at least for them.
Maybe, but he can go soft medium from here on in. So, and he'll have the tyre temp, because it's going to be tyre temp these guys are really going to struggle with at the beginning stage.
An odd one. These drivers coming on for the hards is an odd one. You'd think the mediums would come on because the hards aren't going to make the end, so you'd want the quicker tyre contact.
He's staying out once again, so maybe he's thinking this safety car is going to go another lap. Or he might even try and keep these hards on to the end of the race. Who knows? But he got lucky that T8 binned it into the wall, because otherwise he would have been miles... or he would have easily been lapped. But that safety car was about 5 seconds from being lapped. So that safety car came out at the exact right time. So as we take a bit of a pause, you can see the top 4 did not come in for the dry tyres. Neither did Broseph or Ego. So we got 6 on inters, the rest on dries. 2 on the soft tyres, 4 on the mediums, and then 6 on the hard compounded tyres. And that got close to Greedo, but the other guys are going to have to come in, and they're going to lose all that track position. So Daniel Starr, he made an absolutely brilliant call. As we got Broseph and I think it was Mumba, Ego in as well. So it's definitely dry, and this is completely going to change the course. Battle Cut's up into P4, Bang's up into P5, Deadly Fuller up into P6. So we'll wait until this safety car, or as everyone catches the train, we'll find out where everyone goes. But where's Greedo come out? He's come out in P10. Obviously, unfortunate that he was the leader, that he got caught out, but this has completely thrown this race on its head. But then again, we've still got 26 laps. I don't see the softs lasting that long. Mediums are still going to be stretched as well. So the hard tyres, they probably will get to the end, but it's a matter of if they're going to have any grip at the end. That's going to be the issue.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one here, but you're going to look at NATO and Mambo. You're going to keep an eye on. We're going to have to keep an eye on them and Barrelcat as well. All 3 of them will be very quick off this safety car restart on those soft and medium tyres. The safety car is going to come in here, so now it all gets interesting now.
Yeah, 100%. As we do have the lights off the safety car, so Daniel Starr will lead us away. He's made a brilliant call. He's going to be leading this pack. Problem is, there's going to be a big issue with him being on those hard compounded tyres. He will be able to go to the end, but he needs to keep NATO and Mumba behind him for as long as possible to start burning up those softs. But Mumba obviously got the drive through, so obviously he's going to have to come in, unfortunately, to serve that. So he's out of it at the moment. But obviously
now off goes Daniel Starr here out of the last corner. Let's get on board with NATO now. Is he going to look out of the move into turn 1? He needs a good exit here if he wants to do anything on Daniel Starr.
Battlecat had an issue. Battlecat had a big issue coming through turn 1, so he's been passed by a couple of drivers, and NATO down the inside. Yeah, as you called it.
And Bang's up onto the podium as well here, but there's Mamba and Bang coming together there.
Yeah, so plenty of issues here, so we'll wait for these guys to sort themselves out. We've got a yellow flag at the back, and that's T8 around again. T8 has not... T8 would rather be doing something else with his Saturday afternoons, because pretty much every time we've mentioned him, he's been fucking half turned around. So, unfortunate for him. But we're on board with Greedo making his way. He's moved up 1 position at the moment.
Member's losing places very quickly here. He's already down into 6. We still that drive through serve.
Yeah, I just serve it now. Get out of the danger zone at the moment. Obviously, 5-lap-old softs. Obviously, he's got to serve it, and he's going to serve it this lap. His teammates just got to be a little bit careful, and he does. So, fair call to get it, because you never know when a safety car may come out. So, at the start of lap 12, NATO takes the lead. He sets the fastest lap. He's obviously on the soft tyres, and he's broken Daniel Starr brilliantly. 1.7 seconds. That's the thing. NATO can go... Oh, it might be a stretch, but NATO could easily go soft-medium, or he might even do a soft-soft. So, NATO, and if he keeps this pace up, Daniel Starr's are going to be on worn hards compared to NATO's new either soft or medium tyres. So NATO's in a decent spot as we've lost Mertz. He's had an issue at turn 3.
And it looks like a McLaren got... Oh no. McLaren and a throw. It's Aussie and Broseph going battling here at the back there.
Yeah, so obviously Marty down in P12, not what he would have wanted. Medi's had an off as well, so both Alpines in the space of 30 seconds. They've both had issues. So Medi again, it hasn't been his day either, down into P11, but it looks like he's still got all 4 wheels and both end plates on. Marty's got a little bit of front wing damage, unfortunately. Looking at my data, and Daniel Starr's got a little bit of front... So I was just going to say...
the first time in the feature race, we've got DRS enabled now.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's going to be Battlecat on Bang. And easily through there. Deadly Fuller, can he follow through with the Red Bull? He dives it. Can he pull it up in time? He can. Just leaves enough room on the outside for Beng. It's got to be the drive out of turn 3. But they're both going to have DRS and they're both catching the Battle Cat. Battle Cat has to go defensive into turn 4. They both managed to pull it up. Again, Deadly Fuller around the outside. A little bit of side contact. And that's all very, very lucky that Beng didn't just turn Fuller there. They got really, really close and that could have ended in big, big issues. So thankfully we've still got both those cars facing the right way, but geez, that was pretty dangerous. But lead out the front, NATO's got 3 seconds, on Daniel Starr. Daniel Starr, I was about to say before we saw that battle, has got a little bit of front wing damage. It's only very, very minor because he's still got both his end plates, but is that just hurting him a little bit out of a couple of these corners or in the middle sector? But Battlecat, he's cleared Deadly Fuller as we've got an issue that is, I think, T8 just getting out of the way of the guys. Oh, and that's big issues. We've had a big issue. Who was that? We had a car off into the gravel, lost their front wing. That's Greedo. So I think Greedo's, he's got his left end plate gone. So I think he's had a big issue. I think, and that's a bit of a dive bomb from Yusuf down at turn 4. He gets it done. Nice overtake. And a lane just on the inside. I think had a poor exit out of turn 4. So plenty of action. And I think Greedo had to hit somebody and was on the gravel. But that got messy, unfortunately. Greedo's got front wing damage. Not sure if anyone else in that little pack did. We'll see if any of these guys come in. Greedo's gonna hang it out, but that Austin's gonna be really struggling to turn into some of these corners. And Yusuf already trying to just get the run. As we got a yellow flag, and that's Mertz, I think.
No, is it Myrtle? No, yeah, Mertz. But Battlecat, Scotty, Battlecat is now chasing down Daniel Starr. He's right on his gearbox now.
Yeah, plenty of action. I was watching
and there he goes. Battlecat down the inside of Daniel Starr. He got it done. He has got it done now. Looks of him. Daniel Starr's going to look for a switch back, but Battlecat plays a very good defence there.
Yeah, Daniel Starr just didn't quite have the grip, and Mertz is done. So we've lost an Alpine, unfortunately. So yeah, Daniel Starr really struggling on the hards, but even Deadly Fuller's got more pace than the Williams at the moment. Just seems he's really struggling, so it'll be interesting to see what Battlecat can do in terms of NATO's pace up front. And Medi's been off track once again, so he's down in P12. It's not working at all for the Alpines today. Not exactly. Aussie goes back up into P12, getting the overtake done. And guys,
here comes Medi onto the track. Whose way is he going to get in?
I think they all cleared him nearly.
This is going to be the same situation as Sim. I think he's going to stay on track here.
Hopefully the guys do it, but Daniel Starr's fought back. And yeah, a lunge down the inside, and that's allowed Deadly Fuller to potentially have a move done, and he will get it done up into P3. So Deadly Fuller,
it's P2 for Deadly Fuller.
He gets it done. Does he get the traction out of the corner? It was all right, but Daniel Starr, will he look to have a quick dive down? No, he won't. Great job from Deadly Fuller, double overtake. Just must have had a great run out of turn 3. Bit of DRS, bit of battery. He's moved himself up, and that's Daniel's having a bit of a snap, and that's surely a warning. So really feisty here. We've lost to McLaren. It's ego. He's had an issue. He must have maybe ridden that inside curb. Doesn't look like he's got any damage, but unfortunately, both McLarens really struggling. Marty is in the pit lane to fix that front wing. So he'd be able to chuck on those medium tyres and get to the end pretty safe, I'd imagine. So, but he's just not having the race at the moment as Elaine gets past Greedo for P7. So Greedo obviously does have that front wing damage as well. Does Wolfer try and take him down at turn 3? He holds off. Aussie gets past Medi. So Aussie, I was going to say, but he completely botched his exit there. So he went wide and loses that spot immediately. So just a few of these boys just struggling. We know that Austria can be a tricky track. We know how pretty much a pain in the ass turn 3 can be. We're going to just right on board with Garrido. Just see how much he struggles through the loaded corners. He's got a little bit of a train behind him now. And Elaine's coming into the pit lane, so he must have picked up front wing damage, because you wouldn't come in that early on a set of hard tyres as Brosa picks up a 3-second time penalty. We'll see if that's a front wing change shortly. Just want to keep an eye on the battle for P2, and Daniel Starr's going to have a look down the inside. Turn 3's looking to be a favourite. Oh, that's a bit of a slide, I think, from Deadly Fuller, so Battle Cat not quite getting the job done, but I feel like we're going to see a move down at turn 4 once again. Deadly Fuller sticks it down the inside. Slight contact, they both go wide, and that completely opens the door up for the Battle Cat. So Deadly it looked like he got the job done, but he just went a little bit too deep. And unfortunately, he's lost 3 spots, being up into P5. So Alfa Romeo looking really good in 4th and 5th at the moment. Just got to keep it on track for some really good points. Daniel Starr, I don't think he'd be too happy. He left enough room on the inside, and that was just a mistake on Deadly's part to get the job completed. As Bang picks up a 3-second time penalty. I was about to say keep it on track, but I meant to say keep it within the white lines as well. So that's Bang's 3-second. That's Mumba's 3-second. Got to be careful because we've only just hit halfway. So still plenty of action, but it's going to be the Battle Cat who again has to defend. And we nearly go 3 wide. Yusuf sends the move, the double overtake.
And Daniel Starr goes through as well.
Yeah, lovely. We've got a big issue.
That's a safety car.
Oh, that's really, really done by Greedo. That's a bad re-entry. And we've got a safety car, so Medi's obviously had an issue with Greedo. Greedo, that was a bad re-entry, and that's caused a Mercedes of T8 who's had to take really a bad avoiding action. Probably thankfully that he hasn't got hit, but yeah, that was not good from Greedo, unfortunately, but we do have the safety car. This works out brilliantly for Nato because he can chuck on a brand new set, but that's a bit of a pit lane cut. Had a bit of a snap through turn 9 trying to cut the inside, but he's got to jump in for a set of medium tyres.
Yusuf's in, Daniel Starr's in, Battle Cat's in, Bang's in, Deadly's in.
Yeah, you have to. The fresh tyres and Daniel Starr. So Daniel Starr and Yusuf have picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding. Bang's lost his front wing because he's run into the back of him. Oh, this is absolute chaos these last couple of laps, and we can see Bang having to get that front wing changed. Thankfully, they are going to change it on him. But that's medium tyres for those guys. Battle Cat has to go into the hards because he's used his set of mediums. So he's got to be the one sort of in a bit of struggle straight at the moment. As Elaine's picked up a 3-second time penalty. I think that was around the final corner. So as we take a bit of a breather, that safety car's worked out brilliantly for Nato because he retains the lead on a fresh set of medium tyres. Problem is Yusuf has been very, very racy, so Nato's got his work cut out to try and keep that lead, and we'll have about 14, 15 laps of racing left to go. Bang, he gets a front wing. He just got away with that front wing damage. I'm going to have a quick look at the penalties for everybody at home. So Eustace 5 seconds with the speeding in pit lane. Daniel Starr with the 5 seconds for speeding in pit lane. Bang with 3, Broseph with 3, Elaine with 3, Mumba with 6. So it'd be interesting to see if any of those 5 seconds were actually because they got hit from behind and pushed over the 80k speed limit. That would be interesting. But, yeah, there's a few things to talk about. That incident between Medi and, I'd imagine, Greedo down the, at turn 2, even though it's pretty much a straight. It'd be interesting to see what happened there. But,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a few guys that will not be happy about sort of what happened there. And
it's basically, just about, can you say, Yusuf and Daniel Starr's chances of winning is just about slim to nothing now.
as I said, we've got still 15 laps of this race, and there's been chaos already. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this ending. Nato's in a really good spot at the moment. We'll look at the position changes. Battlecat still up 12 positions. He's the biggest mover at the moment. Nato up 6, starting from 7th after his little tangle in the sprint. Bang's still up 4 after that little bit of an error with the front wing damage. Thankfully, he was coming into the pit lane, so he only cost himself 5 seconds. Wolfer's doing a really good job in P5. Maybe not the outright pace of some of these guys, but he's keeping it within the track limits, and he's done a really good job. Broseph up 4, Elaine up 5, and we've got the safety car coming in this lap, actually. And Marty in P9 has that front wing change, so we'll see if he can move up many positions, but as we quickly switch back to the tyres, because that will be the interesting thing that we want. And that's T8 getting out of the way. So obviously T8 doing the right thing, he's lapped, so just letting everybody else through.
Yeah.
As we get underway, who are you thinking? Nato, can he hold on for this victory, or will Yusuf or Battlecat potentially be getting past him shortly?
I feel like NATO can definitely hold on to this one. He's looked pretty rapid all afternoon, so I feel like he can hold this off and get it done, I think. And with Yusuf with a 5-second penalty and Battlecat in the hards, I think he should be able to hit this together.
Exactly right. Nato's made a decent start off the safety car restart. Yusuf has closed in. Battlecat's sort of the one that sort of struggled, and not surprisingly considering that he's on the hard compound tyres, and he's already nearly lost a second. He needs to claw that back before we get back to DRS activation at the end of lap 23. So he's going to have to push. But Battlecat just holding off on Deadly Fuller and Daniel Star. So we've seen Daniel Star and Deadly have a little bit of contact down at this corner, turn 4. But it's been a clean restart from the guys behind, thankfully. We've got Greedo down around the outside, I think, but Elaine's going to send the switch back on him. But again, it goes to the left side. So, and there's contact between the two. Greedo's around, and that's contact with T8.
And Namba's out.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it was Mumba. I was looking at the wrong car, but yeah, it was Mumba, unfortunately stuck right in the middle of the track, and Mumba unfortunately couldn't avoid the stationary Aston, so that's really unlucky. It's been a interesting event that Greedo's been involved in the last couple of laps, and unfortunately it's taken an AlphaTauri out, so we've got 14 drivers left in the race. Deadly Fuller and Daniel Star fighting. Daniel Star getting the move done pretty early out of turn 1, so maybe Delhi just didn't quite get off turn 1 as great as he would have wanted, and Daniel Star up into P4. Obviously with the 5-second time penalty, that will hurt him a little bit. Massive Ego gets past Broseph, and he's nearly on Woofer. He does get the job done. So Ego up into P9, Woofer down to P10. He's just sort of fallen back, unfortunately. Woofer not quite the pace on the hard tyres. Broseph thought about sticking a nose in there. That forces Woofer a little bit wide, but holds the position. As Daniel Star picks up a 3-second time penalty. So he's up to 8 seconds. So any sort of chance of a podium, unfortunately, I feel is gone from the Williams driver. But as we round the final corner for the guys in the mid-pack, start of lap 24, Aussie sets the fastest lap on the medium tyres. And we know he had pace from qualifying and the early sprint action. But Yusuf with DRS, Nato's having to cover the middle part of the track. But that allowed...
the inside of Battlecat. He's got the job done.
Yeah, nice job on those mediums, working very nicely. Battlecat just going to have to try and hang in there for the hards, but he's going to fight back. We've got Nato and Yusuf battle for the lead. Yusuf takes the outside line, gets the job done, and is our new race leader. Battlecat goes a little bit wide. Deadly Fuller, he likes that turn 4 inside move and gets the job done. So up into P4, but we've seen Deadly and Daniel Star come together at turn 4. Hopefully it can be a bit of a cleaner pass this time round. But they've lost 2 seconds to the top 2. They maybe should just work it together a little bit to try and close them down, but Daniel Starr's 8 seconds worth of penalties. He's not really going to help him. Bang. He's now going to put the pressure on the Red Bull in front on the medium tyres. Bang's looked quick today. But again, he's got a 3-second time penalty that could come into play later on in this race. As we scroll back up, NATO just sitting there in P2. He's not going to look for an overtake, but Deadly Fuller's definitely going to look for an overtake down the inside. At turn 3, Daniel Starr couldn't quite get the switchback. That was a nice line that Fuller took through there. And I don't think Daniel will have enough to come back at him at turn 4. He's closing, but won't be enough. So that was a great move down at turn 3. Went a corner earlier, and that's Battle Cat a little bit wider than what he would have wanted. As we scroll further down, Aussie in P7 on this back of this little train that Battle Cat's sort of holding up. Battle Cat, I think, went a little bit wide as well. Those hards just not quite turning on. As you can see, it's still pretty cloudy, so track temp will be down a little bit. Probably not in the working range of the hards.
Yeah, I think NATO at the moment is just looking to not even try anything reckless or idiotic on Yusuf. He's just looking to sit behind him, keep himself within that 5 seconds, and just bring home the win.
Yeah, but it's going to be NATO. Does he send a move down? No, he doesn't. As I said, there's still 10 laps left to go. No need for a clumsy move. Daniel Starr and Deadly Fuller again fighting through turn 3. Oh, Battle Cat, I think, had a poor run. It's going to be Bang now. And he gets the inside line on the medium tyres. And we've got a move up ahead as well. Daniel Starr on the inside. Deadly Fuller trying to hang in there. As we get a great shot from the Alfa Romeo. Oh, and we've got Battle Cat and Aussie. And Aussie gets the job done. So Battle Cat really struggling on those hards. And Aussie moves up into P6, Bang up into P5.
And really having a tracking race after what happened at the start, and he was running on those hards for a while in those wet conditions. He's really brought this back together. He's currently running provisional. I think it'd be about... No, he'd be running on the podium right now with all the penalties that are out there, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can keep it clean and get past a few of these guys, he may still be in a great position for a podium. But it's going to be NATO down the inside, and actually that takes the racing line. I don't think Yusuf fought that too hard. But new lead change. Once again, NATO gets that P1 back. As we follow Deadly Fuller behind Daniel Starr. Again, coming into turn 4. He's not close enough this time around, but Deadly Fuller's really strong on the brake, especially at that corner. And Bang's still doing a nice job holding in there. But I feel like Aussie's going to be the one that could try and force the issue to try and get past, so he can be in that battle for third, as Mumba unfortunately left the session after that unfortunate incident of him collecting stationary Aston on the middle of turn 6, unfortunately. But we've still got 9 laps left to go. Nada crosses the line. Yusuf only 2.5 tenths behind. A little bit wider than what Yusuf would want, but he's still right on the rear gearbox of that Aston. Will he think about the move down at turn 3? No, as you can,
out of it.
Yeah, as you can see, he just lifted the throttle. He felt like there was no point risking a move down at that particular corner. He's just happy to sit behind him a little bit. He'll make a move when the opportunity arises. But again, with 3 DRS zones, you can just let the guy carry. And Deadly Fuller again, contact with Daniel Starr. So again, those two really like to be close at turn 4. Battle Cat's actually dropped off this pack, so he's now got Ego behind him and Marty. So those hards really not working, and we might see the Red Bull falling further back. But NATO actually on the button, trying to actually break Yusuf. So that mistake of not going for turn 3 may have cost him, because I think NATO's just trying to break the Alfa Romeo. Problem is, with 3 DRS zones, it's going to be hard unless the Alfa Romeo makes a mistake. He's broken 1 second, but the DRS will help. NATO's used all his battery. But I still think, yeah, Yusuf did still get within range. So that will give him
Yeah.
DRS, and he hasn't had to use as much of his battery. So that technical play, it was a good drive by NATO, but he just needs to push in this middle sector if he can try and break him again. Daniel Starr not quite, well, Daniel Starr I should say, able to keep Deadly Fuller, so he got a bit of eggs out of turn 3 that time. But we've now got a big train from third down, so quite a few guys might be on for a podium here, a podium chance as Lane goes past Broseph for P10. And you've got Woofer behind in P12 again. Those hards not quite as pacey as the mediums at the moment. But top two have gapped the rest of the field by about 4 seconds. And as you can see, there's a big train from Daniel Starr behind. At the moment, Deadly Fuller will jump onto that podium without any penalties at the moment. But again, very easy to just run that little bit wide. It'd be interesting to see what the warnings are between these drivers. But we've got 7 laps left to go. As Aussie was the one that looked like he was closer to an overtake. As we round turn 3. Didn't quite get the best exit, but we'll switch back on to Deadly Fuller.
So if Yusuf and NATO keep pushing this pace they're pushing right now, Yusuf's going to pull that 5-second gap to Deadly Fuller, and he's going to hold on to P2 here if they keep this pace at the moment.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. He could easily negate that penalty and get the 5 seconds clear. And if Daniel Starr and Deadly Fuller keep swapping and keep going side by side through turn 4, that gap's only going to increase. Oh, big slide from Daniel Starr. And he goes wide. I'm pretty sure it was a lane picks up a 3-second time penalty. That looked really slidey from Daniel Starr. So Deadly Fuller might be his chance to take third place. But again, it wasn't the best of turn 1 exits. So as you make the run up to turn 3, will he go for the move?
Oh, he looks out of it.
He backs out of it, but he does get tagged from Bang, unfortunately. So just making sure Bang didn't get any damage from that. Hopefully he didn't. Battle Cat's got side pod damage. That's why he might be struggling a little bit as Deadly Fuller. Oh, there's more contact. Guys,
is that contact from Deadly Fuller?
side
wide there?
Give me a good camera angle for crying out loud. He's giving me the shoulder camera, and that's Deadly Fuller pushed wide. The Red Bull Battle Cat's off into the gravel out of turn 6. So the 5 seconds has been cleared. That's the thought that I thought that that both you and I said that these two battle. It pretty much allows Yusuf to negate the 5-second penalty. So he might just be happy to sit behind NATO and just claim P2, but it's getting really feisty.
Fuller down the inside of Daniel Starr into turn 1 now, and he's got the job done with this contact. Daniel Starr makes contact with Deadly Fuller and goes straight back past out of turn 1. Yeah, and Bang goes with him.
Yeah,
and so does Aussie.
Yeah, look for Aussie. Aussie's going to be the real big one with the overspeed as we come around. Bang's going to take P3, but again, he's with the penalty. So we've got Bang, Daniel Starr, Aussie, Deadly Fuller. So now Aussie's in the prime position to actually get that net P3 due to not having any penalties. Daniel Starr down the inside of Bang. Does he leave enough room? He does, back up into P3, but Aussie trying to capitalise. Oh, and that was a big moment, big slide from Bang. As we go side by side through turn 6, and just the better grip from Aussie's car, better line. Aussie up into P4. So complete carnage on this lap. Started with turn 1 and just a side contact. So Daniel Starr will see if he can brake, but again, the 8 seconds, unfortunately, all this hard work sort of for nothing unfortunately. Just with sort of all the penalties that he's got. But Yusuf, 7/10 from NATO, so he's got a second and a half buffer to Daniel Starr as Aussie goes down the inside.
Up on the podium. Look at him go.
Yeah, but we've still got 3.5 laps left to go, and Daniel Starr's still close enough to get. Actually, is he? No, I thought he was going to get closer into turn 4, but not quite. So Daniel Starr has to keep in P4. So I'm just wondering if Aussie, if he's got a little bit more grip in those tyres, he might be able to actually push this this pace up a little bit and possibly break Daniel Star. But he knows that he doesn't have to push. Look back at the tyres for everybody on screen. Top 6 are on the medium tyres and they're 13 laps old. So they're just starting to be getting up there just a little bit. As we round turn 9 and 10 for the McLaren up in P3. It's all important for Aussie not to pick up a 3-second time penalty because that will open the door for Deadly Fuller and the Battle Cat. As we have a look, Yusuf is closing but not quite, about 3/10. But again, he's got a 5-second time penalty. And we'll keep it on the penalties for the time being, as this pack of 5 or 6, I think Marty B's on the back of it. So if it stays as close, Daniel Star and Beng are going to be the big losers. Unfortunately, Marty gets past Ego into P8. So not the most amount of points that he would have liked with Mercy not racing today, but it's still a top 8 at the moment. And if he can close in, get within 8 seconds of Daniel Star and 3 seconds of Beng, he'll move up another couple of spots as Daniel Star picks up another 3-second time penalty.
He's done now.
If he wasn't done before, he's done now. So unfortunately, he'd like to finish the race on track in third, but unfortunately he's not going to be staying there, as we've just got T8 getting out of the way.
Yellow flag, who's that?
Just T8 getting out of the way, doing the smart thing. He doesn't want to interfere with this podium battle. And Battle Cat picks up a 3-second.
So goes his chances of podium now as well.
Yeah, as Daniel Star gets past Aussie. As Beng got really, really close to the McLaren. Deadly Fuller's right in there as well, so Deadly Fuller needs to get past Aussie. That's going to be the fight for the podium. So the Haas driver's got a lap and a half. We've got a yellow flag. We've got an issue. I think that's just T8 getting out of the way. Looked like there was a bit of a collision at turn 3. Not quite. But Aussie's holding the podium spot at the moment. But we've seen it change. But yeah, hard luck for the Battle Cat. So now, at the moment, he's going to drop 2 spots from where he is. But as we start the final lap for the leader, NATO has a 8/10 gap over Yusuf, but it's going to be the 4-way fight. Daniel Star's out of it. Bang, you'd say he's out of it. It's going to be Aussie or Deadly Fuller that will finish on the final step, but they need to keep it penalty free. As Daniel Star makes the run up the hill to turn 3 for the final time.
I think it's going to be Aussie that will take that final step, to be honest with you, because there's still Bang in between himself and Fuller, and he's constantly getting that DRS on Daniel Star as well, so I think it is going to be him and Daniel. And as I said, Aussie makes him move down instead of Daniel Star, and I think that just seals the deal now. Aussie's just going to make it through these last final few corners.
Yeah,
penalty free and just bring it home safely now.
Yeah, Daniel Star didn't really fight that move like he has all the other times. So, but I'm going to switch it up to the front here, just getting out of the way. These two have broken away from the front after that restart. But Dado, he had pole into the short qualifying, didn't go his way. But NATO will win the feature. Wins his second race in a row, NATO. Yusuf will hold on even with the 5-second penalty, just with the massive battle, and it's going to be Aussie finishing P3, Deadly Fuller in P4. Great job from being up in P5. Ego finishes 6, Marty in P7, Battle Cat in P8. Daniel Star drops all the way to 9th after being in contention from that P10 battle, that P3 battle for pretty much the majority of that race. Woofer finishes in the top 10. That great effort from him. Broseph just missing out, P11. Lane Santa in P12. Greta in P13. And T8 finishes a couple of laps down in P14, but it's still 2 points for Mercedes. So he didn't give up and got Mercedes a couple of points. And Greto, he was leading at one point earlier on, but unfortunately that second half of his race did not go to plan for him and finishes P13.
Yeah, but no, it was a very, very eventful race, and NATO found very well in the end there on that top step. Yusuf definitely fighting him from that safety car restart to the line, but didn't have enough in that Alfa Romeo take that one. And Aussie, very well done from Aussie, I might say. He was struggling at the start of that race. He had those hards on in those wet conditions, struggling and sliding. Safety car saving there, and he's really ran that back to a very nice, lovely P3.
Yeah, 100%. But it's the man in green, NATO. Back-to-back wins, one in Hungary, all that time ago, 3 weeks ago, and he picks up another feature race win. He picks up the 24 points. And as we switch to the race results, Greedo got fastest lap. So I was wondering who got the extra point for that. So it was his teammate. But looking at the race results, it was Nato after penalties 5.4 seconds ahead of Yusuf, who did a great job just sticking with the Aston. And even with the 5 seconds, great job from him finishing P2. Aussie, who was, as we said, about 300 metres from being lapped when he was on dries in still wet conditions, managing to finish on the podium. That's a fantastic job from Aussie, and Mercy will be very happy with that. Deadly Fuller in P4, great job from him. Bang, brilliant job from him as well. P5, Ego, Marty, Battlecat, Daniel Star, Woofer, the top 10. Brosa, Laysetter, Greedo, T8 with your finishes, and then the whole list there: Mumba, Medi, Mert, Sam, and we lost Toddy really early in that feature race. But yeah, fantastic racing that we've seen over the last couple of hours. And as we wait for these boys to hop in here, yeah, that was a fantastic race, Powers. Had a bit of everything, bit of spice, bit of contact, but we did see some great racing overall.
No, 100%. It was a great race to watch. Glad I jumped into the comments box today to give you a hand, but overall it was an incredible race. Loved watching that one.
Yeah, that's tier 2 action for you. Never disappoints on a Saturday afternoon. And as we wait for these boys to hop in, we've got NATO with us, the race winner. NATO, great effort by you the entire night. Pole position, obviously the little bit of contact with Aussie in the sprint, which forced you down in 7th, but you pretty much played that feature race pretty much to perfection. Obviously, made the right call with the dry tyres, put on the softs, just got a gap, and then that last safety car checking on the medium tyres, and you and Yusuf had a nice battle. But yeah, another win for you, 2 in succession with Hungary, and closing in on Mercy, who didn't race. So fantastic result from you tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Bit sweaty after that one. Yeah, if it wasn't my little lock up under brakes in the sprint, we would have had a good sprint result. But yeah, my apologies to Aussie there. Wasn't intentional, of course, but those things happen. But yeah, ruined his race. But Greedo teammate finished first for that one, so there's a big chunk of construction points anyway for the team. But yeah, I saw the rain coming in quali, so I thought I better get out there and at least do one quick lap, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, it was. We were saying in the box, just that first fly, if you get a decent banker in, that was going to help. And obviously, you nailed yours. Aussie sort of nailed his, starting right up there as well. But yeah, we thought Aussie might have tagged you a little bit in that sprint race incident, but obviously, as you said, I think
Yeah,
locked your rears, and yeah, unfortunately, just half spun, and Aussie unfortunately had nowhere to go, so dropped you down into P7. But you had a great start in the start of the feature in the intermediate conditions. Looks like you really suited those conditions for you, and then obviously made the right call when the change was needed.
yeah. I'm not usually good in the wet. Did no practice on the wet, and yeah, my starts this season haven't been the best, and I can't believe that start on Inters, to be honest with you. Kind of shocked me. I was like, well, why can't I do that in the dry? But yeah, I thought I was going to risk it. I was in comms with the teammate and thought he was up front, so I was going to risk it, go to softs, and yeah, worked out. And then everyone boxed behind me. Sort of me and Daniel. I followed Daniel Star in, and yeah, everyone else boxed behind us, and the leaders boxed the lap after. So Daniel pitted on hards, and I thought, oh, if I can just get him and then pull out a bit of a lead, and then if there's a safety car, there's a safety car. But plan was just to go from softs to meds for the last stint.
but yeah, that was a great effort. Powers, anything for our feature race winner?
No, I think you covered everything there, Scotty. But no, it was a great race from you, and overall, you had a cracking result here tonight. You brought it all together in the long run, and that's all that matters. And but nah, congrats on your win there, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers.
I will ask while you're in here. I think
Yeah.
24. You get 26 points for that one. That will take you to about 134. That's only 22 points off Mercy, who you obviously didn't race.
Oof.
You've had a good last few races to bring you back into this championship fight, and we've still got 9 rounds left to go. Do you feel you're in the hunt and you could actually overtake a couple of these boys and claim this tier 2 championship?
Well, of course, that'd be nice. That's always the plan. Mercy's quite quick. Gordo's quite quick as well. Um, so yeah, it'd be very nice to catch those boys. I've just got to try and not run out of fuel and make silly mistakes. Um, a few races back there, which I did, but yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. But if I could slightly claw me way up, just keep consistent, keep me little mistakes, to a minimum, then we should have a good fight to the end.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously with both Aston boys really scoring some good points tonight, you'll overtake Red Bull for P4 in the Tier 2 standings, so making some good
Lovely.
ground as well. So, and I think you only be, say, 10, 15 behind Haas as well. So, yeah, you're in for all 20 points behind Haas. So, yeah, you're in for a good run. And I think we've got Monaco next week. How are you feeling about that one? Because we know some love it, some hate it. Not really much of error for runoff for mistakes. So how are you feeling for that
Mm.
one next week?
Yeah, not feeling too good about it, but not feeling too bad about it either. Monaco is one of those tracks where it's very tight. The position you start in is usually the position you finish in, unless accidents here and there. But hopefully, I can get a good sort of positioning quality and then just stay there, see how the race turns out. But yeah, you can't really overtake in Monaco, unfortunately,
Yeah,
based
exactly.
on pit strategy.
Yeah,
It's all about that pit strategy at Monaco, really.
but yeah, fantastic drive from you, Nato, and looking forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season, and looking forward to this fight with the top guys.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Cheers.
See you,
cheers.
mate.
All right, Powers, we've got our third place getter in here that probably at the start of that feature race probably thought it was miles off, especially because we thought he was about to get lapped. But yeah, take it away with our third place driver.
And Aussie, mate, great race from you overall.
Hey boys.
Very, mate, looked very, very dismal off the start there, very early in that feature race. Just as Scotty just pointed out, you were meters away from getting lapped, and that safety car saved you. You've decided to opt for a hard strategy in the wet conditions, and it ended up playing to your part in the long run, by the looks of it.
Yeah, that was a total mistake at the time. I got some wing damage during the inters, and then before that I changed it to hards for when it did dry up, and I didn't change it back to inters when I pitted. So I had to kind of commit after that. I thought I completely ruined the race from the start, basically. Also got a bit unlucky at the start. I got boxed in behind someone and had to basically let everyone by in turn one because I had nowhere to go without causing a massive accident. But it was a fun race, good charge back through the field.
Yeah, no, it was a very good race from you, and you did exactly that. You charged that field very, very nicely to claim that P3. You were flying after that safety car restart, and no, it was a cracking race from you, mate. It was amazing to watch that
Yeah,
one
thanks,
go down.
man.
But Scotty, mate, you got anything to add to Aussie there?
Yeah, well, obviously it was penalties were a big factor, obviously, with the couple of the drivers picking up 5 seconds for speeding in pit lane, and then just a few at the end getting corner cuts. Was that sort of what you were thinking? You saw a few pens in front, just try and keep it clean, and you actually had good pace to actually make moves while you were still in that DRS train. So what were you thinking, say 10, 12 laps from the end, where you knew you'd have to at least make a couple of passes with everybody having DRS around you?
Thinking I was going to be able to do it, so I could see for quite a few laps before the end there was a few people that were out of ERS already. Just had to wait for the right opportunity when someone made a little bit of an error, then pounce on it. But yeah, it's basically impossible even when they have ERS to pass them on the straight when it's a DRS train like that. Just gotta wait for them to crumble in front of you, hopefully, and pick up the pieces and move through. But yeah, I was planning to just stay behind and with the penalties as a last resort. But had enough pace to make the move, so went for it.
Yeah, and it was absolutely brilliant to watch. Obviously, your first podium of the season. Obviously, not quite your best first half that we've seen. How are you feeling for the second half? Obviously, you've sort of got the duck off your back in terms of the first podium. How are you feeling with the tracks coming up?
I'm pretty stoked for the tracks coming up. I think that's my first podium overall in Inters. Probably got a bit unlucky, to be honest, to not get the podium in the sprint race too. Had some good pace there. Fortunately, one of the Aston Martins had a bit of a half spin in front of me, so I had to avoid, or I didn't have a chance to avoid them, so I got stuck behind him and lost a few positions there. But yeah, I had great pace from get-go, really, and I was looking forward to the rest of the season and show what I got at some other tracks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch, and yeah, I think you and Mercy, McLaren still leading the T2 constructors, so yeah, it could be fascinating to see if you guys can keep that all the way to the end. But yeah, brilliant job from you tonight, Aussie. Great pace, and yeah, we'll see you next week at Monaco.
Thanks, boys. Good job on the comms. Thanks for it.
Yeah.
All right, cheers. And just before we go, just a quick chat with Yusuf. Obviously can't join us tonight, but great pace from him overall. He was nice and quick. Except for that speeding in pit lane, he pretty much did nothing wrong and would have been a hell of a fight at the end if he knew he didn't have that pen. So, yeah, just a great shout out from the Afro Romeo driver.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was a great race from Yusuf.
So that will wrap us up for Tier 2 Powers. Fascinating race that we've seen, and we've got one round left to go, and that's Sunday night where the quick boys are. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one to watch. Unfortunately, I won't be able to put any comms together on that one, but it'll be a very good race for you to sit back and watch.
Yes, and I'll obviously be amongst it. Hopefully, a couple of top tens would be nice, but we know how strong this Tier 1 field is, and Prince, KLX, Noob, and the like, they're going to be real top shape, and I know a few of those boys love Austria, so it's going to be a fascinating race to watch. But that will wrap us up. Thank everyone for watching Tier 2 on this Saturday afternoon. We'll catch you this time tomorrow for Tier 1 starting at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Just check your times for everywhere else around the country. But from the comms box, Scotty and Powers, great to have you for Tier 2, and we'll see you tomorrow for Tier 1 action. So until then, we'll catch you next time.
See you.